Okay, so Show Me the Way, Peter Frampton. This one's in the key of D, and this part, the part that he plays, is in standard tuning. Okay, and we'll talk about the part that Bob Mayo plays later on in the video. Okay, and if you want to jump right to that spot, I'll put a link somewhere up there or down here somewhere, so you can just jump straight to that part if you already know this part. And this song's really similar to Baby I Love Your Way. Okay, there's way in both of them, but more than that, the chords are very similar. Okay, so in the key of D, Baby I Love You Way, right, and Show Me the Way. Okay, I sort of got them mixed up in my head there, but you know, the first three chords are exactly the same, and the strumming's almost exactly the same. Okay, so you see a lot of people now will play this down here, just a standard D chord, and then a bar here on the second fret for the D major 7. Okay, and that's fine. You can do it down there. And if you look at some of the newer videos of him playing, you know, mostly when he doesn't have that 12-string guy around. He does play it down there, okay, but on the record and in the old live stuff, he does it up here, okay. So what we've got is third finger on G7, fourth finger on B7, first finger on E5, and we can play all the strings except the low string, okay. So we can include that A string in there, and we want to mute the 6th string, the low E, with our thumb, right? Okay, so we can, you know, just strum all 5 strings, right, and mute this one. Because if you don't mute that one, you're going to have a mess there. Okay, so got to mute this one. Okay, and then we just, from here, that's the D major, right, and then we're going to take our third finger off and put our middle finger on G6 to get the D major 7th, right, okay, and then we're going to go to a bar chord, B minor. It's like, you know, your A minor up 2 with a bar, right? So think of it like that if you don't already know that chord. Okay, so we're here, B minor, and then we've got 2 bar chords, A-type bar chords, like A, like that, right, or like that. And I play them like this with my little finger, and I think that's how he does it on the videos too. And that's kind of a standard way for most guys to play those chords. You know, your fingers got to be able to bend there, right? And sometimes it takes a few years of playing for your fingers to bend. Both my 3rd and 4th fingers will bend there, so I can play those chords. Now, some guys might have to do it like that. And, you know, if you can't do that or that, then you're going to have to do this, right? But these are definitely preferable. Okay, so far we've got... Okay, and that's a B flat, and then up 2 frets to the C. It's up, down, down, up, down, right? Up, down, down, up, down. Okay, so let's talk about the rest of the strumming. So we've got, the thing is to have your hand going, you know, all the time. Right? It's because you're sort of adding. You don't want to go, you know, you're just accenting, right? Right, so da 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 da. Those are your accents. B minor, E flat, C, back to the D. Okay, we do that twice, and then this you know, the talk box thing comes in, right? And it's over the same chords. Okay, and then when the singing starts, we're just going to hold these chords longer. So B minor, F, B flat, right? We do it again. flat. Now we're going to go to this chord, which is like just D2 and B3, and don't play the low E. It's like an A suspended, right? A7 suspended, because that would be your A7, but we're suspending it here, right? Taking the third out and adding the fourth. And then we go to a G chord. Okay, and then we go into the chorus. And the strumming here changes, okay? So we're going from this. Da, 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 right? And when we get into this part, we're like, same there. And the same in the G chord. And then to end that, it's like 1, 2, 3, okay? So we got a, okay, and these kind of parts here, these transitions between sections, a lot of people, I find, just kind of ignore these and they just sort of fudge them. But if you nail these down and make them tight, and make all the difference in the world in how the song comes off, they just sound way tighter. Right? So we're going to the A there, right? And then we're B. So it's dun 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 dun. Okay, and it's, you know, these rhythms are around the vocals, so it's right, right, show me, E minor to A, right, show me. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're playing the chorus. Don't do that same rhythm, because it's not, right? Okay, so the very last one is, and then he does this chord, which is like a G bar chord, but just that part of it over an A bass. Okay, so let's take it from that A suspended and go through the chorus. So. So that's pretty well it. That's the intro, the verse, the chorus, okay? And then the only other part is that really awesome ending, which is really kind of Beatles-ish to me, you know? I love that ending. So the ending is just... Okay, just B flat to C to D, okay? Okay, so now we'll go over the 12-string part. And the 12-string part is in open G. Okay? So from the lowest string, we've got our E down to a D. We've got our A down to a G. And then we've got D, G, B. Those three stay the same. And then our high E down to a D, right? So we've got 3 Ds. D there on the low E, the open D, and the high E string is a D. So when we, you know, if we mute that first string, we just play the 5th string up, we got a G chord, right? Okay, but we're playing a D chord here. And I remember this really confused me, you know, back in the day, because, you know, you'd see them play it, like you can see them play it on YouTube, Midnight Special, and, you know, you got Peter Frampton who's doing all those chords I showed you earlier, right? Your standard stuff, right? And you go, well, I can handle that. And then you got this other cat, you know, Bob Mayo, right? which, by the way, just a superb musician. Like one of those guys that just can do anything, you know, great musician. May he rest in peace. Yeah, so he's doing this stuff, right? And you're thinking, well, what's going on there? What chords are those? You know, when I try and play those chords, they sound like junk. But it's because it's open G. Okay. Anyway, so he's up here, and he's gonna fret here on A7, G7, B7. Okay. And what we want to do there is little finger on the B, third finger on the G, and middle finger on the A string. And you can play all 6 strings here, right? And it's beautiful, you know. Like if you were gonna play this on your own, I would probably play it in open G, just because it sounds. It's just, you know, just so bright with all those open strings. And what's going to happen is you're going to play that throughout the verse, and so you get that D drone going on, right? Okay, so the strumming is exactly the same. And then the second chord, we're going to put our first finger here on G6. So we take our third finger off, and we'll put our first finger here. So we got to get that major 7th, right? Okay, so okay, now we're going to go down to a B minor, and a B minor in this world is like that. And if you looked at my Wild Horses video, you'll recognize that chord, right? Okay, so it's just A, D, and G on the 4th fret, and B on the 3rd fret. And you can, of course, you can play the open D too, because you got D's there, right? But you want to mute that low string there. You don't want that. You want this. So I just mute that with the tip of my first finger there. Okay, so far. And then we just drop that down a fret, and we can have that open E, or yeah, E, D, open D sounding, the high D, right? And we do that rhythmic thing. We just slide that up 2 frets to the 5th fret, right? Now, the danger here, and this is probably the most like dangerous part of the song in this tuning, is you gotta mute that B string. Okay? And I do that by just hanging my little finger, you know, instead of there, I just hang it over. But if you don't, it's a nightmare. That's like whoa. Those are a couple of the most brutal chords you're ever gonna hear, right? So if you accidentally don't mute that, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Okay, the thing is going to fall apart. All right, so from the top here. Okay, and then again. And then we just follow those chords along, but staying on the longer, right? So just like the other part. Okay, and then eventually go through that again, and then we're going to go down a fret, right, to the A. This will be an A now, A suspended, and we're going to mute that low D. Okay, and this, I just use my thumb in this one, this particular pattern, and then we go open G, muting that D string again, or the E string. D note on the low E string, right? Muting that. Right? And then same rhythm as the other one. Back to the B minor. Play an A note on the A string, 2nd fret, and you've got your G suspended. Don't play the low E. Then we're back into this. Okay, so those are your chords, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got 6, which is your A suspended. Right? got 7, which is your open G, and then 8, which is your G over an A bass. Okay, and then we're back here. Okay, so those are all the chords involved. And then of course the ending. You could throw that high D in there, but it's more prominent is the low part, right? And you get to play that nice 6-string chord at the end, right? Okay, so that's the 12-string part. All right, so I hope you enjoyed playing this one. It's it's like all these songs. When you start looking into them, like you hear them at first and you go, oh, that's so easy. That's just 3 chords or 4 chords. But then when you look into them and you see how they're done, there's always more to it, right? It's because these guys, at those levels, they're like really good musicians, and they really know their way around music and tunings and instruments, and Anyways, hope you get something out of it, and we'll talk to you next time.